this is Katerina from the Evolution of Stitches. On this video tutorial I'm going to show you how to crochet this beautiful shawl. You can crochet it with many types of yarn. Here I have used 95% acrylic with 5% metallic, and I have crocheted this small piece just to show you how it looks with an acrylic yarn. Of course, you can use any type of yarn you like. For example, if you use a cotton yarn, you can crochet this shawl for the summer. It's not difficult. What you need to know in order to crochet this shawl is how to crochet the Solomon's knot and the puff stitches. There are tutorials for both of these stitches, and then you need to repeat the pattern from here to here. But let's do it. I will start by crocheting 5 chains, but if you know how to make a magic circle or ring, you can use that. So now I am going to crochet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chains, and now I'm going to insert my hook into the first chain, yarn over and pull through both loops, and in this way I have created a circle. Now I'm going to frog it because I'm going to use the magic ring. This is the other way to start the shawls. If you would like to watch a more analytical video, there is a video tutorial. What we do is to wrap the yarn around our fingers, creating an X, and like this. And now I'm going to insert my hook from this side, take this strand of yarn, twist it, yarn over and pull through. In this way I have created my magic ring, which I can adjust, but I will do that later. So now I'm ready to start my first row, and on my first row I am going to crochet 4 puff stitches with 2 chains between them. The first thing that I will do is to pull up this loop on my hook, yarn over, insert my hook into the magic ring 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. I'm pulling up my hook like this to give length to my puff stitch, and yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through again, and in this way secure my puff stitch. You can insert your hook more times so the puff is puffier, let's say, but keep the same number of loops on all your puff stitches. Now I'm going to crochet 2 chains and I'm going to create my second puff stitch. If you would like to know more about puff stitches, there is a video tutorial. So now I'm going to pull through all the stitches, yarn over and pull through. So I have created my second puff stitch. Now again I'm going to chain 1, 2 and create one more puff stitch. 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, and like this, yarn over and pull through all these loops, yarn over and pull through again. 1, 2 chains, and my last puff stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4 times. It's better to have your yarn a bit loose, and create my last puff stitch. So if you have used a magic ring, you can adjust it like this, and in this way, by crocheting 4 puff stitches with 3 chain spaces of 2 chains each, we have finished our first row. Now we are ready to start our second row. For the second row, I am going to turn, then I'm going to insert my hook into this first chain space, yarn over, pull through and pull through again and create a slip stitch, and now a chain. I'm going to pull up a loop and create a puff stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4 times, yarn over, pull through and pull through, so a slip stitch here, 1, 2 chains, and in the same chain space I'm going to create one more puff stitch, because in this way I will add width to the shawl. So again, yarn over, insert my hook 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and yarn over, pull through all the loops and secure. So I have created this side of the shawl. Now I need to get to this chain space, and in order to do that I need some length. So I'm going to add a Solomon's knot. I am going to chain 1, pull up the loop on my hook and yarn over, pull through, insert my hook between the strands of yarn and create a single crochet stitch. And in this chain space, in the middle one, I'm going to crochet 1 double crochet stitch like this, and then I'm going to crochet 2 chains and another double crochet stitch. Of course, you know how we crochet double crochet stitches. Let me show you. Yarn over, insert the hook, yarn over again, pull through these 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through the other 2 loops. In this way I have created a V space in which I'm going to crochet my group of puff stitches. Now I need to get to this chain space, so what I'm going to do is chain 1 and crochet a Solomon's knot. And now I can get to this space. So first I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to create my puff stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4 times, yarn over, pull through all loops and yarn over and pull through again. Now chain 2 and create another puff stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4 times, yarn over, pull through all loops, yarn over and pull through. And in this way I have finished my second row. And actually this is the way we continue working. First I'm going to turn, I'm going to insert my hook into the chain space, yarn over and pull through, chain 1 and create 2 puff stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4 times, yarn over, pull through and yarn over and pull through. Now 2 chains and another puff stitch, yarn over and pull through all these loops, yarn over and pull through. So as you understand, by crocheting 2 puff stitches on each of the sides, we add width to the shawl. Again, I need some width in order to get to the V space, which I created by crocheting 2 double crochet stitches with chains between them. So now I'm going to chain 1 and create a Solomon's knot like this. So now I can get to this chain space. Let's start. Yarn over and insert my hook 1, 2, 3, 4 times, yarn over and pull through all, and again secure. Now I am going to crochet 2 chains and create a new puff stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4 times, yarn over and again secure, 2 chains, a new puff stitch, and 2 chains and my last puff stitch. So I have crocheted 4 puff stitches into the V space. Again, I need to get to this side, so I'm going to chain 1 and create a Solomon's knot, and in this space I'm going to crochet a puff stitch and chain 2 and another puff stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, yarn over and pull through, and yarn over and pull through. And in this way I have finished the 3rd row. Now I'm going to turn. I'm going to insert my hook and create a slip stitch, a chain, and now a new puff stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4 times, yarn over and pull through, and yarn over and pull through, 1, 2 chains and a new puff stitch, my second puff stitch of the edge. So like this. Now I need to widen my shawl again. So here again, chain 1, a Solomon's knot, but now I'm going to create one more Solomon's knot. So 2 Solomon's knot like this. So now I can get here into the first space between the 2 puff stitches, and here I will need to create new chain spaces. Here I'm going to insert my hook into the first space and crochet a single crochet stitch, and then I'm going to crochet 3 chains, insert my hook into the second chain space and create a single crochet stitch, and 1, 2, 3 chains again, and insert my hook into the last chain space and create a single crochet stitch like this. So here there are 2 spaces to work on my next row. Now I'm going to chain 1 and create a Solomon's knot, 1, and the second Solomon's knot, 2, and I'm here on the other side where I'm going to crochet 2 puff stitches with 2 chains between. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and like this, 1, 2, and another puff stitch. I have finished this row again. Now I need to turn and a slip stitch, a chain, and a puff stitch, my first puff stitch of the row, yarn over and pull through, 1, 2 chains, another puff stitch, and now I am going to chain 1 and create a Solomon's knot like this, and here between my two Solomon's knots of the previous row, I am going to create a new V space. So chain 1, yarn over, I am going to insert my hook here, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through these 2 loops, and yarn over and pull through the other 2 loops. So I have created a double crochet stitch, 1, 2 chains, and insert my hook in the same space and create another double crochet stitch like this. Now I am going to create a new Solomon's knot and get to the chain space, and there I'm going to crochet a single crochet stitch, 1, 2, 3 chains and another single crochet stitch in the next chain space. And now I am going to chain 1 and create a Solomon's knot, and here I am going to create a new V space. I'm going to chain 1 and then insert my hook here between the 2 Solomon's knots of the previous row and create a double crochet stitch, 2 chains and another double crochet stitch like this. And now 1 chain, a Solomon's knot. I'm at the edge of the row, so here I'm going to work my puff stitches with the chains in between them. Like this. So I have finished this row again. Let's start the next one. I'm going to turn and insert my hook, a slip stitch, a chain, puff stitches, chains, my 2 chains, another puff stitch, now I am going to chain 1, create a Solomon's knot, and now in this V space I'm going to crochet 4 puff stitches. First a chain and then 1, 2, 3, 4 times, yarn over, pull through, now 2 chains, another puff stitch, like this. Let me finish 2 more and I'll meet you then. So I have finished my 4 puff stitches into the V space. Now I'm going to chain 1 and create a Solomon's knot like this. Here on this space I am going to crochet a single crochet stitch like this, and then a chain and a new Solomon's knot. And now I can get to this V space of the other side. So again here I'm going to crochet 4 puff stitches. First a chain and 1, 2, 3, 4. And now again I need to get to the edge of the shawl. So chain 1 Solomon's knot, a chain, and by now you know that here you should crochet 2 puff stitches with two chains between them. Let me do it and I will meet you then. So this is the shawl up to here. Now again I'm going to turn and work the 2 puff stitches of the edge with the 2 chains between them in the normal way. So I have finished these 2 puff stitches of the edge. Now I will need to create Solomon's knots in order to get here. So chain 1 Solomon's knot, and 1 more like this, and here I am going to insert my hook and create a single crochet stitch, and then 3 chains and another single crochet stitch in the next chain space, 1, 2, 3 chains, another single crochet stitch. So now I'm going to chain 1 and create 2 Solomon's knots. To get here, and here I'm going to first the chain 1, create a single crochet stitch in the first space, 1, 2, 3 chains, another single crochet stitch, 1, 2, 3 chains, and another single crochet stitch in the next space. So now I have 2 spaces here, and now chain 1, I am going to crochet 2 Solomon's knots, 1, 2, a chain, and create my edge in the same way. So let me finish my 2 puff stitches with the 2 chains between them, and I will meet you then. Let's crochet the next row. We turn, insert my hook and create a slip stitch, a chain, and my puff stitches. The first one, 2 chains, and the second puff stitch. As you can see in the previous row, there are 2 Solomon's knots. So here we need to create a V space. So let's do it. Chain 1, a Solomon's knot, and here I'm going to insert my yarn over, I'm going to insert my hook, create a double crochet stitch, chain 2, yarn over, insert the hook, and create another double crochet stitch. And now you are going to continue in the same way, the same things that you did here. So now I'm going to chain 1, create a Solomon's knot like this. Here there are these chain spaces where I'm going to crochet single crochet stitch like this, 1, 2, 3 chains, again insert into the next chain space and create a single crochet stitch. And now I'm going to chain 1, create a Solomon's knot, and here, as you can see, in my previous row there are 2 Solomon's knots, so I'm going to chain 1 and create a V space like this one. So I'm going to insert my hook and create a double crochet stitch, 2 chains and another double crochet stitch like this, 1 chain, a Solomon's knot, and here a single crochet stitch in the first space, 1, 2, 3 chains, another single crochet stitch in the next space, and now I'm going to chain 1, create a Solomon's knot, and here I'm going to create 1 new V space. So chain 1, 2 chains and another double stitch, and again I will get to the end of my row by chain 1, create a Solomon's knot and create my puff stitches, and I have finished 1 more row. As you understand, in our next row we should add these 4 puff stitches into every V space, so here, here and here. So in this way I will widen my shawl. Let's do it. I'll turn, I'll insert my hook and create a slip stitch, a chain and a puff stitch like this, 2 chains, another puff stitch, like this. So now what you need to do is to get here. You can see what we did in the previous row. So I will chain 1, I will create a Solomon's knot like this, and here I will create my puff stitches. So my first one, like this, and now if you look here what you did here, I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to create a Solomon's knot. So I will chain 1, I will get to this chain space, single crochet stitch, I'm going to chain 1 and create a Solomon's knot like this, and now I am here at my next V opening or space. So here I'm going to crochet 4 puff stitches with 2 chains between them. So now again I'm going to chain 1, create a Solomon's knot, and now I can get here where I'm going to create a single crochet stitch like this, and another Solomon's knot, first a chain, another Solomon's knot that would get me to the next V space, where I'm going to crochet 4 more puff stitches with the chains between them. I'll chain 1 and then and I have finished the group of puff stitches in this V space. Now what I need to do is to get here and finish my edge, my left edge. So I'm going to chain one, create a Solomon's knot, and get here. And between the two puff stitches, I'm going to create one puff stitch, two chains, another puff stitch, so I have finished this row as well. As you can see, as we move on, we add one more group of puff stitches into the V space. Now we will need to start from this row, do what we did in this row. So let me show you once more. I'm going to turn. Now I'm going to insert my hook and create a slip stitch, a chain, a puff stitch, two chains, another puff stitch, I have crocheted the puff stitches of the edge with the chains between them, and now we need to crochet this row. We repeat the pattern from here. So as you can see, what we need to do is to crochet two Solomon's knot and then create these gaps. Let's do it, please. So chain one, a Solomon's knot, another Solomon's knot, and now I am going to insert my hook into the first space between the puff stitches, a single crochet stitch, and now 1, 2, 3 chains, another single crochet stitch, 1, 2, 3 chains, one more single crochet stitch into the next space. So now, as you can see, I have created, let me show you here. So I have created these two chain spaces, and now I need to get to the next group of puff stitches, and in order to do that I am going to crochet two Solomon's knots again. So chain one Solomon's knot, another one, and now I will insert my hook here again and create a single crochet stitch, 1, 2, 3 chains, another single crochet stitch into the next space, 3 chains, another single crochet stitch. So I have created the gaps. Now I need to again to crochet my Solomon's knot. Chain one Solomon's knot, the second one, and now I get here, I crochet a single crochet stitch, 1, 2, 3 chains, a single crochet stitch into the next chain space, 1, 2, 3 chains again, and a single crochet stitch into the next one. And now I will finish, let me show you, I will finish by crocheting one chain, 2 Solomon's knot, and the edge on the left side. Please let me do it, and then I will meet you for one more row. So here I am, I have finished the row. Now I need to crochet this row where I create these V spaces in order to create my puff stitches in the next row. So again, I'm going to turn, I'm going to insert my hook and create a slip stitch, a chain, my 2 puff stitches, 1, 2, the 2 chains and the next puff stitch, like this. So I have finished the edge. Now I need to get here to create the V space. So chain 1 Solomon's knot, and now yarn over, insert my hook into the space between the 2 Solomon's knots and create a double crochet stitch, 1, 2 chains, and another double crochet stitch in the same place, like this. Again, I will need to create a Solomon's knot to get here, so chain 1 and a Solomon's knot. Here I will create a single crochet stitch, 1, 2, 3 chains, another single crochet stitch like this, and now again here I need to create a V space, and I will chain 1, create a Solomon's knot, and here I'm going to insert my hook and create a double crochet stitch, 2 chains and another double crochet stitch, like this. And we continue in the same way, so please let me finish this row and I will get back to you. I have finished this row. As you can see on this row we have created 1, 2, 3, 4 V spaces, so we are going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of puff stitches on this row, and we are going to continue by crocheting this row with the puff stitches. Let me do it one more time. So again, I'm going to turn, I'm going to insert my hook and create a slip stitch and a chain, and then my first puff stitch of the right edge, like this, 1, 2 chains, and then my next puff stitch, like this, and now chain 1, a Solomon's knot, like this. So now I can get to the V space, and there I am going to crochet 4 puff stitches. So chain 1 and insert my hook, 1, 2, 3, 4 times, like this, yarn over, pull through and pull through again, 1, 2 chains, another puff stitch, two chains again, another one, so 3 now, so I need one more, 2 chains, and my last puff stitch of this group, so like this. Now I need to get, let's see here what we do. Now I need to get to the next V space, but in order to do this I will need these two Solomon's knot with a single crochet in between them. So I'm going to chain one, create a Solomon's knot like this, and then I'm going to insert my hook into this chain space, yarn over, pull through, and yarn over and pull through, so create a single crochet stitch. And now again chain one Solomon's knot, and here I'm going to work my group of 4 puff stitches, and I will continue in the same way until I finish this row. So please let me do it, and I will get back to you when I get here. So I have finished this row. Now there are 4 groups of puff stitches in this row. As you understand, this is the way we proceed, and by increasing the groups of puff stitches, we increase the width of the shawl, so we can make it as big as we want. So basically what you do is that you repeat these rows from here, from the V space, then you create the next row with the group of puff stitches, and then the chain spaces, and this is the way you crochet this beautiful shawl. I hope you liked my tutorial. If you did, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching. Bye for now, and see you soon in one of my next tutorials. Bye!